Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? I am Shara Prophet. I am a vitality coach, and I am a certified hypnotherapist. And tonight, I'm doing a live Q&A. We're going to be talking about anxiety and stress management tools, and you guys will also be able to ask me any kind of question you have about hypnosis, about reprogramming the subconscious mind, about improving your life overall. And so what I do as a hypnotherapist is I help people reconnect with their inner power. And I help them see themselves in a new light. I help them get to the other side of the thing that they desire, their goals that they're trying to reach, any challenges they're trying to overcome. Hey, Laura, welcome. I'll wave to you. Hey, darling. Any challenges that they're trying to overcome, I can help them get there through hypnosis, which is simply a tool that we use to access a subconscious mind where all of your automatic behaviors live. Everything that you do is coming from the subconscious programming. So we use hypnosis as a way to reprogram the old program. Because if you take something out, you've got to put something back in. That's just like if you take a pair of scissors away from a baby, in order to keep that baby from crying and trying to reach after that pair of scissors, you need to hand them a rattle or a lollipop. Maybe not a lollipop, but a juice box or something. You've got to replace it with a healthier replacement. That's basically what we're doing when you work with a tool like hypnosis. When you reprogram the subconscious mind, you take something out, you take the old behavior away, and you replace it with a new healthy behavior. So if anybody has any questions for me, I'm going to wait a little bit before we get into the questions because I'm going to give people time to enter the room. We're just starting. And so basically tonight we're going to talk about anxiety. Anxiety is something that most people are dealing with, It's usually the root of what most people come in to my office to deal with. If you're having sleep issues, if you can't focus, if you are having a hard time letting something go, if you get nervous a lot, especially if you're around crowds or if you are in an environment that's unfamiliar or in a situation that is unfamiliar to you. And the reason why I called this the silent killer is because a lot of people have anxiety and you won't even know that they're having an episode because they will go through this thing on their own, So sometimes you can tell some people will have a panic attack and you can visually see it. But other times people are having an anxiety episode and it's just happening to them. And you have no idea that it's happening, that it's going on. But anxiety can be caused by many different things. There's psychological causes for anxiety, and then there are physical medical causes for anxiety. So let's just kind of go over, I'm looking at some notes here. So let's just kind of go over some of those medical reasons that trigger anxiety, and then we'll go into the psychological reason or the root cause behind the anxiety. So first thing is heart problems. If you have arrhythmia, if you have anything that goes on with the heart, that can trigger a panic attack. Okay, it can trigger you losing your breath, finding it hard to catch your breath. And sometimes it feels like the heart is going to beat right out of your chest, okay? And the thing about the heart issue is that if you already have a heart problem, all right, and you have anxiety, it can trigger each other. The heart problem can trigger the anxiety, and the anxiety can trigger the heart problem, if that makes sense. Laura is asking, do you feel exercise really helps lessen anxiety? And what tips do you have around anxiety patterns and self-thought patterns? Well, the first thing that I would say for anybody, the first tip I have is to stop referring to it as my anxiety or your anxiety, because you're giving it ownership. You're owning it, and you're saying it's mine. So if it's yours, do you really want to get rid of it? Do you really want to release it? Do you really want to let it go? So that would be my first tip. And exercise absolutely can help with lessening the anxiety, moving the body, moving that prana, moving that energy through the body really helps to relax you. People don't think of exercise as being something that's relaxing or calming to the mind or the body, but it really is. So absolutely, answer to your question, yes. A good exercise regimen will totally help lessen any types of anxiety attacks or episodes. And as far as self-thought patterns, so usually right before anxiety comes on, it's usually because the person is expecting something to happen. We call it anticipatory anxiety. Someone is expecting for something to go wrong. They have a fear or a phobia of something that's going to go wrong. And they kind of create a scenario. So they create this scenario of what could happen, even though it's not actually happening, or it may not even happen. And this triggers the anxiety. So the thoughts pop in, it triggers an emotional response, and that emotional response triggers that anxiety. So there is a pattern that happens there. And what I train a lot of clients to do is how to stop the thought from gaining momentum. You can't stop the thought from coming in, but you can definitely slow down its momentum. I don't know how many of you listen to Esther Hicks. She talks about stopping the momentum of a thought before it starts to spiral out and before you start to spiral out of control and kind of lose it. So what you can do to kind of put a stop to that thought, from spiraling out and you gaining that momentum and it moving into an emotional response that's triggering that anxiety. So one thing you can do is breathing. If you take your focus off of that thought and you put it on the breath, and you're just paying attention to the way the air is moving in through the nostrils, how it's circulating through the head, through the bloodstream, and out of your mouth or out of your nostrils. Again, if you can focus just on that action and that motion, what do you think is going to happen? You're not focused on the thought anymore. Now you're focused on the breath. So this is why breathing is so important. And this is why when most people have panic attacks or anxiety attacks, you give them a paper bag so that they can breathe in the bag. Because now they're focusing on this bag that's in their hand and they're breathing in and out. They really can't split the brain to think about that first thought and to carry out the action of breathing in and out of the bag. This is why things like meditation is so important, because meditation helps you focus your thought. You're basically focusing on your breath usually. Some people hold an affirmation in their minds and they just focus on that until the thoughts slow down and until the mind goes blank. Okay? In hypnosis, what I do is I teach you these different tools. I teach you these different anchors. And it's great to learn these tools and these anchors, but sometimes we'll start to use them and then we'll slowly start to taper off and not use them anymore. So what happens in hypnosis, since in hypnosis you're learning a new behavior, it's also called the learning state, because when you're in a hypnotic state, that's when you're able to take in new information. You're able to create new neural pathways. So when you're in a hypnotic state, then you can anchor in the new behavior. Whenever this thought, this anxiety, this anxious thought enters my mind, instead of me going with the thought and letting it catch momentum, now I am going to practice this new behavior. That's going to be the new way I deal with the anxiety causing thought. Let's say, for example, you're a parent, you have a kid, and whenever you think about your child crossing the street by themselves, all of a sudden you get this emotional response that triggers that anxiety for you. So instead of me trying to stop you from thinking that, now we're going to give you a tool that anytime that thought pops into your head, instead of you going down the old pattern of catching an emotion and losing it, now you're just going to take a breath. You're going to take 2 or 3 breaths, breathing in through the nose. And then every breath in, you become more relaxed, you become more calm, you become more centered. And the truth comes into your mind, whatever that truth may be. The truth may be my child is safe all the time. You know, my child has a protective bubble around her. I trust that my child is always secure and protected and safe everywhere she goes. So that breath work helps you. It gets the focus off of that old thought, and it gives you time to center and train your mind on the new thought. So in hypnosis, that's what we would be anchoring in. Okay, that's what we would be putting into the subconscious mind. I would be giving you suggestions on, every time you take this deep breath, automatically the old thought slows down and slowly the new thought starts to come in. And you just feel that sense of peace and calm and deep relaxation. And pretty soon what happens is if you repeat that method every single time, pretty soon you'll notice the shift in the thought. You'll notice the shift and you'll notice that the thought doesn't come in as much anymore. So that's just a little example of how you can start to reprogram yourself, and of just one of the ways in which you would be working with a coach like myself using that technique to help you reframe, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about some of the other causes of anxiety. So alcohol and drugs. They have linked anxiety disorders to alcohol and drugs. So what these studies are showing is that people with anxiety disorders are 2 to 3 times more likely to have problems with drugs and alcohol at some point in their lives than the general population. Abuse of alcohol or drugs can also lead to an anxiety disorder or an anxiety attack. Also, some people are drinking and using drugs to calm themselves. They feel like that's the only way I can get calm is if I smoke a little weed, if I have a couple of glasses of wine. This is the way in which I can calm myself down from being so anxious all the time. The only thing about that is that alcohol has a lot of sugar in it. Cigarettes have a lot of sugar in them. Lots and lots of sugar in them, okay? So if you're smoking or you're drinking to calm yourself from feeling anxious, 9 times out of 10, you're actually raising your anxiety levels, and I will tell you why. Because you're spiking your blood sugar levels. When that blood sugar spikes, from that sugar going straight into your bloodstream, when it spikes, it feels good for a minute, but when it goes up fast and it drops really fast. So when it drops really fast, and let's just say you have not eaten enough protein that day, and you didn't follow up protein with that drink or with that sugar that you just ingested, what happens is as it drops really, really fast, it triggers that fight-flight response. The body feels like it's starving or it feels like it's losing control. So that triggers the anxiety. So that's just something else to think about. If if you consume alcohol on a regular basis and you're consuming it to calm your nerves, think about how when you wake up the next day, if you're waking up feeling anxious, if you're waking up feeling irritated or tired or lethargic, it's probably because what you thought was helping you calm that anxious feeling is actually triggering it for you. All right. So caffeine, for us coffee drinkers out there, I love my coffee. But if you suffer from any type of anxiety disorder, caffeine is not the best thing for you to be consuming. Because caffeine is a stimulant and it gets you all jittery, anxiety also gets you jittery. So it can trigger that as well. And if you're drinking sugar, if you're putting sugar in your coffee like I do, I like coffee with my cream and sugar, then that's a double attack on you. And that's because the caffeine, it stimulates that fight-flight response, okay? And the fight-flight response is our primitive survival response. You know, when we're born, we are all born with that primitive mind. All we know is that we need to eat and stay alive. You know, that's it. That's the reptilian brain. That's the base level thinking. Okay. So when you are in fight flight, when that fight flight response is triggered, you're not able to think in your elevated mind. You're not able to think with your higher mind. You are stuck in that base level thinking, that lower level vibration. And so you're acting from that. You're speaking from that. You're thinking from that. And when people say, you know, they just really irritate me when they come into my office and they say this to me and I'm in the middle of a project. Is it the person that is irritating you and causing that anxious feeling? Or is it the coffee that you drank this morning and nothing else? You didn't eat anything else. You didn't have any protein to follow it up. Or you already have anxiety issues and you're drinking the coffee now, and so it's triggering that. Okay? It's just some things to think about. Medications can trigger anxiety. So if you're on certain types of medication, you definitely want to check with your physician and ask what side effects they have, or what those side effects might trigger. And if you already know that you have issues with anxiety, then you definitely want to let your physician know when they are prescribing you a new drug. Okay. And they're saying that some over-the-counter decongestants and a combination of different cold medicines could also put you at risk for anxiety. And if you stop taking certain medications sometimes that are used to treat anxiety, it can also add to the anxiety. So if you're on a medication to stop the anxiety and all of a sudden you like, you know what, I don't want to take this medication anymore. Is there something in my hair? No. I don't want to take this medication anymore. And you stop taking the medication, that can trigger anxiety. Hello. Okay, just some things for you to start thinking about adopting more holistic ways to deal with it. Meditation is a great way to start off. Great way to start off. Meditating, I suggest you do it. Try it for 2 minutes. Try it for 2 minutes every day for 1 week. I tell clients, just sit on the toilet. Everybody's got to use the bathroom in the morning, right? That's the first thing most people do. They go straight to the toilet. While you're on the toilet, just sit there and close your eyes for 2 minutes. Just close your eyes for 2 minutes. You can even take your phone in there with you and put the timer on for 2 minutes. Close your eyes and breathe for 2 minutes. That's all you've got to do. Okay? So that's just some other little tidbits for you guys. I'm going to take a little sip of my tea. There's not a lot of people on here tonight, but you can, and you'll be able to watch this back. Okay. So you'll definitely be able to watch this back. And if you are not on right now and you're going to watch this later on, what you can do is join the Facebook group. There's three things you can do. You can join the Facebook group. You can like my Open Door Hypnosis business page, and you can sign up, put your name on my email list, okay, on my Facebook business page. I think it's just like sign up for my email list or something like that. Fill that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly choose 3 people from that list, and I'm going to send you a free hypnosis journey for anxiety relief. Okay, it's called Turning Down the Dial on Anxiety. It is a professionally produced. Oh, okay, cool. It's a professionally produced track. Okay, so there's music. It's all mixed and edited and mastered and all of that. So, Laura, what I was saying is if you want to enter in to win a giveaway, you can join this Facebook group, Hypnosis is Key, if you haven't already. You can go to my Open Door Hypnosis page and like the page and then put yourself on my email list, and I'm going to randomly select 3 people and send them a hypnosis audio recording for Turning Down the Dial on Anxiety. So that'll be cool. And also you're going to get a free ebook when you sign up for my email list as well. All right. It's called Can You Be Hypnotized? And there's some fun little exercises in there that you can do on yourself and on your friends and your family to find out how hypnotizable you are, because we are all able to be hypnotized. We're all able to be hypnotized. Trust me. It is the reason why we have things like TV and Facebook and Instagram, because these people know how to hypnotize you. All right. But you can learn how to do it in a way where it's beneficial to you and healing for you. All right. That's what we're here to do tonight. Just educate and uplift everybody. Okay. So let's just kind of recap what we talked about so far. Laura asked earlier about exercise and how that helps with anxiety, and it truly, truly does. If you could put in at the very least 15, would you say, Laura, like 15 minutes a day at the very least of some sort of movement? Would you say that that's pretty good to do that? I hear that I like to do 45 minutes to like 45 to 90 minutes a day to work out. That's my personal goal, but everybody is not where we are. So I would say at least 15 minutes, maybe walking or something like that. It just really gets the blood flowing. It gets that energy moving through you, because stagnant energy can also cause anxiety as well. Okay. Stagnant energy can cause depression, because when you're stagnant and you're not moving, it leaves room for this to go. It just leaves room for those thoughts to start swarming around and going and going and going and going and going and going. And those thoughts do what? The thoughts trigger an emotion, and the emotion triggers what? The anxiety and or the depression. Most people who are dealing with anxiety are also, every now and again, they slip in and out of a depressive state. Okay, so there are things you can do on your own to mitigate that. Okay, such as moving your body on a daily basis, meditating on a daily basis. And when I'm saying meditating, I'm not saying sitting for hours on end meditating. Start off with 2 minutes. Then the next week, add another minute. Then the next week, add 2 more minutes. Work it up, work it up, work it up. I meditate on average 15 to 30 minutes a day. That's not bad. It's not bad. I have meditated for an hour, but I don't find it necessary to do that every single day. So we talked about exercise. We talked about reframing your perspective. We talked about taking the focus off of one thought, using a breathing exercise to bring in that new, healthier, more beneficial thought. We talked about how heart problems can cause anxiety. We talked about how alcohol and drugs are linked to anxiety disorders because of the sugar. We talked about also how cigarettes have a lot of sugar in them. And because people are smoking cigarettes, they're thinking, oh, I'm calming myself. But it is temporary because you are still taking in a lot of sugar. Once that blood sugar level spikes and starts to drop down really, really fast, guess what? Your mood is going to shift. You might get a little angry, a little irritated, or sleepy. Okay. Caffeine mixed with anxiety gives you that jittery, nervous feeling. Again, if you're putting sugar in the coffee, it's going to spike your sugar levels, drop it down low, and trigger anxiety. Medications can trigger anxiety. Weight loss supplements also have anxiety-producing side effects. You can look all of this stuff up on the internet. Do your own research. I'm just putting stuff out there for you guys, but I want you to do your own research. If you are dealing with anxiety, please, please, please do your research, okay? And now they're also saying that anxiety symptoms are related to the thyroid gland, too. Who is that? Hi. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Welcome. So I know you're just chiming in, but you'll be able to go back and watch too. Okay, so I'll keep it up so you guys can go back and watch. They're saying that anxiety is also related to thyroid issues. All right. So hello, what's happening here? Thank you. So the thyroid gland is the little gland that's right here. Hello, Oceanly Blue. Welcome. The thyroid gland is right here, the little butterfly-shaped gland that's right in the front of the neck. All right. And it produces the thyroid hormone. So these hormones, they're important for regulating your metabolism and your energy levels. But if your thyroid produces too much of that hormone, it, guess what, can cause anxiety symptoms such as nervousness, irritability, heart palpitations, and sleeplessness. And if you have anxiety symptoms along with the swelling of the neck, weight loss out of nowhere, weakness, fatigue, or heat intolerance, you can ask your doctor to check your thyroid gland. All right. Stress is another trigger for anxiety symptoms. So if you are having a stressful day at work, if your kids are stressing you out, if your spouse is getting on your nerves, if sitting in LA traffic, okay, I have to breathe a lot. I have to do a lot of breathing exercises while I'm driving in LA, and it helps. It really helps. Another thing that you can do when you are in the car, on the freeway, on the 405 at like 5:30 p.m., another thing that you can do is listen to podcasts. I like to listen to podcasts. Some of my favorite podcasts are like scary stories because, you know, I like paranormal and horror and stuff like that. But it relaxes me. It really relaxes me. Sometimes it relaxes me too much. And I go into a hypnotic state and then I have to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open wide awake and snap myself out of it. So those are just some little tips that you can kind of do to kind of keep you calm, you know, breathe. So ladies who are just joining, Jennifer and Oceanly Blue, Oceanly Blue, I'm sorry if you're not a lady. I can't see your picture. But what I was saying earlier, how to use the breath to control anxiety, okay? And what happens with anxiety is that usually what it is triggered by is a thought, okay? A thought that something is going to go wrong. Even though nothing is going wrong and nothing will probably go wrong, the thought that could go wrong is enough to send someone into a tizzy. So what we do in hypnosis is we catch the thought and keep it from gaining momentum. We keep the thought from turning into an emotional response and triggering that fight-flight response. Okay, the fight-flight is that base level response that says no matter what happens, I need to eat and survive. That's all I know. I just need to survive. So that response is what triggers the anxiety, because the anxiety is like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're going to die. You know, if this doesn't happen, we're going to die. In hypnosis, what we can do is stop that thought from gaining momentum. Now, I can't stop you from thinking a certain kind of way, but you can train the brain to take on a new behavior that will eventually slow down that thought and eventually shift the thought pattern into a healthier thought, if that makes sense. Okay? Go back and watch the beginning of the video. I talk about that in a very detailed process. Okay? So let's talk about some of the psychological reasons behind anxiety. So sometimes what happens is the anxiety is linked to a traumatic experience. And the traumatic experience, you know, could have happened in childhood, or it could have happened, you know, a year ago, 3 years ago. It could be a traumatic experience such as a divorce, you know, an abusive relationship. The loss of a loved one can trigger anxiety. Because what it is the fear of loss, you know? And the fear of loss, when you dig down to the root of it, is really the fear of death. We're all just afraid to die, okay? Because the primitive mind's main job, the primal mind, the reptilian brain, its main job is to stay alive against all odds. As long as we have air in this body and the body is alive and moving around, its main job is to keep us alive. So, if you have experienced loss, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between losing a loved one and the possibility of you dying, okay? It just knows that it lost something, and we're feeling sad, we're feeling angry, and we have triggered the fight-flight response. So that means that we're in danger. Something is wrong. We are in danger. Now, some people can process loss in a very healthy, logical way. But then there's most of us who are just being, you know, we're being guided by our emotions because we lost something that was true, near and dear to us. You know, whether it was the loss of a loved one or whether it was the loss of a job. Okay? Something triggered that fight-flight response that made you feel like I'm going to die if I don't have this. And if we don't know how to process that intelligently, okay, or in a healthy way, it can transform into anxiety because it's a loop going in the mind over and over and over again. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I don't want to suggest that to anybody or to myself. But I hope you understand that that is the basics, the root of fear is the fear of dying, because it is our job to stay alive, okay? So that in a nutshell is kind of what the psychological reasoning is behind anxiety. and having a panic attack. It could be the smallest, littlest thing, but your brain is receiving it as we're going to die. This is it. We've got to do something to protect ourselves. We've got to do something to keep this thing from happening, okay? And the way you can get a handle on that is by breathing. Doing some breath work. You can also create an anchor for yourself. I like to give the anchor of pressing the thumb and the middle finger together. Taking in a deep breath, holding it, and then releasing. You can do that as many times as you need to. Usually 3 times is good. But if you got to keep doing it, keep doing it. That's a way for you to center yourself, to calm the body down, to get the heart back pumping at a normal rate, okay? And when you can calm yourself down, what happens? The thoughts begin to slow down. They're not just zooming and flying all over the place, okay? The thoughts slow down long enough for you to gain traction and to say, okay, let's see what the truth is right now. What's really happening here? Am I really going to die? No. Is this really that terrible? No. Is that thing going to actually happen? Probably not. You could slow down the process of the irrational thought that's leading to the emotional response that's going to trigger your anxiety. And the other thing that I said earlier was to stop calling it my anxiety or your anxiety, because you're owning it. When you own it, you're telling the subconscious, a suggestion to the subconscious mind that this is ours and we don't want to let it go. But if you are ready to let it go and you are ready to have a new way of dealing with certain things in your life, then you can say the anxiety or that anxiety or anxiety. So don't call it my anxiety. Don't call it your anxiety, our anxiety. It's just anxiety. That's all it is. And it's something that we create. We create it. We create everything. All right. So let's talk a little bit about some physical things that you can use that help with anxiety. There's crystals. If you guys are into crystals, minerals out of the earth, there's certain crystals that you can use. See my Hypnosis TV mug. I have a lot of these. This is from HMI. When you do an interview on Hypnosis TV with Lisa Mockenberg, who is the host of that show, you get a mug. Yay. So I have quite a few of these because I've been on there a lot. Okay. So amethyst is good. I like amethyst. I love, love, love amethyst. Amethyst really does calm you down a lot. Let's see some other ones. Black tourmaline is good. It's great as a security blanket. It makes you feel like secure, like you just have this weighted blanket on you. And also the weighted blankets. What is it? The anti-gravity or something? I can't remember the name of it. But those weighted blankets are really good if you or someone you know is struggling with anxiety. Because what it does is it makes you feel as though you are in a cocoon. You feel safe. And anxiety, anxiety really is the fear of it's insecurity. I don't feel safe. So I'm in heightened fight, flight mode, and I need to run for cover. So if you have something like the black tourmaline, or get you a weighted blanket, and you can just lay and put the weighted blanket on you and go to sleep like that, or you can meditate with the weighted blanket on. You can even have a hypnotherapy session with your weighted blanket, and that will help a great deal to help you feel more secure, more safe, more protected, okay? Even though we know we're already safe, we don't really need protection. We're always protected. But try telling the subconscious mind that without a tool like hypnosis to help you reprogram it. Good luck with that, right? Jetstones are good. Blue lace agate is really good. So those are just some crystals that could help, all right? If you're into crystals, crystals are extremely helpful with that. So let's look at some other ones here. There's aventurine. I said amethyst already. Sorry, my computer's slow. I'm trying to pull up. Aventurine, amethyst. You can use rose quartz. Rose quartz is very, very calming. Very calming. And it just gives you that sensation of love, you know, of just being taken care of. Completely and totally. Okay, we have rose quartz. We have citrine. Citrine is another crystal that's really good to help with anxiety. I said black tourmaline already. Carnelian is another great one. So these are just some different names of crystals that you can Google and research on your own. Clear quartz is another one that's really good. And if you are into essential oils is a great way to calm you down. Lavender. I don't have issues with anxiety, but every now and again, I will become overwhelmed because of what I do for a living, you know. I get overloaded sometimes. I'm actually overloaded right now in my ear. My right ear, I have an ear infection. I have not had an ear infection since I was a little girl. So it hurts every time I swallow. It's better now because I've been taking care of it. But every now and again, I will become overloaded because I'm constantly reading, doing research, working with clients, working with students. I am constantly being stimulated. So sometimes I need to do things to kind of just blank out and just not do anything. But every now and again, I'll use lavender, and I'll just take some lavender oil and I'll put it in my hands, and I will massage my temples, my forehead, underneath my eyes and under my nose. And immediately I just feel relief. And if you are wanting to purchase some essential oils or essential oil blends, especially for anxiety, you need to check out my girl Shayla Nash, Shayla. Last name is Nash, Nash. You can check out her Facebook page. She sells doTERRA oil. She's a doTERRA distributor. So definitely check her out. Some other oils that are great for anxiety is rose oil, vetiver oil, ylang ylang. I don't know if I ever say that right. Bergamot is excellent. I love bergamot. Chamomile. Oh my God, chamomile will really super duper like chill you out. It is so good. And frankincense. I burn frankincense quite often in my home. Also patchouli. Patchouli oil has this like sensual, relaxing scent to it that just really mellows you out. And, oh God, I don't have it in here, but there is if you can get yourself like one of those oil burners and you get some of these essential oils and pour it in the bowl and light the candle at the bottom, and it will just permeate throughout the house. And it really does work. Like these essential oils, the aromatherapy oils, they really help to calm you down. And if you guys are interested in ordering one of those oil burners, it's in my bedroom. If you're interested in ordering one of those, you need to check out eighthhousewisdom.com. Okay, Eighth House Wisdom. I think it's Eighth House Wisdom Shop online.com, or just Google Eighth House Wisdom, and you can. That's where I got my oil my infuser from. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So when you turn the lights off and you have the candle lit, all around it is like little star cutouts. So like there's like stars on your wall. So it's really beautiful. So check out those two places to get the oil. Shayla Nash. Check out her Facebook page, and I'll link everything in the descriptions, in the comments below, where you can go and check these places out and order from them, okay? Alrighty, so we are almost done. And I guess I will just do a quick little relaxation for you guys, okay? So, if you're still with me, but before that, the people who just joined in earlier, I said that I will be choosing 3 random people, okay, to receive my Turning Down the Dial on Anxiety hypnosis track. It's professionally produced. There's music to it. It's been mixed and mastered, and it has really good, high quality sound. And it's very effective to help with anxiety issues. And I usually sell that on my website, but tonight I'm going to give it away to 3 lucky random people. And the way you qualify for that is by joining my Facebook group if you have not already, going to my Open Door Hypnosis Facebook page and liking that page, and putting your name on my email list, which you can access through my Facebook page. I believe if you just click the tab that says get on the email list or sign me up for the email list, put your name on there, because I'm going to be choosing the name from that I'm going to be choosing the names from that email list. Hello. I am so overloaded. Friday, I am taking myself to Glen Ivy, and I'm spending the day there. It's a solo dolo trip. All I'm taking is a book. I think I'm going to leave my phone in the car or in the locker. I'm just taking a book, and I'm just going to dip my body in the healing waters, because I have been working a lot. I am working on other things. I'm in different mastermind groups, and I'm doing a coaching group. It's a lot going on right now. So I am in overload. So I need to take my own advice and do some of these things. Yes, but I am. So anyways, yeah, go ahead and get your name on the email list, and I will choose 3 random people, and I will email you the link to that hypnosis track, okay? So we've got about 10 more minutes left before I get off of here. So I'm going to use this time to just get everybody to just kind of sit back a little bit and relax and take a nice deep breath, okay? Just breathe in through the nose. And on every exhale of the breath, just feel yourself dropping into a more relaxed state. And taking in all of the information that you just learned here this evening. And just knowing that whatever brought you to this video this evening, or whenever you're watching this, if there was a reason, an issue, or some sort of discomfort, or just a need for change, just know that the moment you decided to watch this video, the change already started to occur. The shift already started taking place. And just breathe that in. Breathe in that it's already done, that it's already happening. Breathe that in. And on the exhale, blowing out any doubts, worries, fears, obstacles, or blocks that no longer serve you anymore. Breathing in the resolution. breathing out the issue. And every single time you take a breath in, you're breathing in the resolve, you're breathing in the answer, you're breathing in the shift. And every time you release the breath, you're blowing out any and all energies, low vibrational frequencies, paradigms, old beliefs, energies that no longer serve you. And every exhale of the breath brings you more peace, more calm, more tranquility, more release, more letting go. And if your eyes are not closed already, go ahead and close them. And I'm going to begin to count from 5 to 0. And at 0, you're going to enter the hypnotic state. And you give yourself full permission to be in this state because it's a natural state to be in. You go in and out of hypnosis every single day, all throughout the day, when you're driving your car, when you're listening to music, when you're scrolling through the social media pages on Facebook and Instagram. You're in a hypnotic state already. So why not use this time as an intentional time for you to learn a new behavior, one that is beneficial, one that is healing to the mind and the body. Go ahead and give yourself full permission now to just trust, release, and let go of any apprehensions, fears. Take this time out for yourself right now. Putting down anything, all of the worries throughout the day, all of the dramas or traumas throughout the day, and just holding on to the blessings. Perhaps you saw something beautiful happen today. Let's just hold on to that feeling of joy, peace, calm. At 5, becoming more relaxed. 4, drifting a little bit deeper. 3, even more now. 2, 1, and 0, deep sleep. And each and every time you hear the words deep sleep for the purposes of hypnosis, with your permission and only your permission, will you drift into this deep, deep hypnotic state and let go completely? Drifting a little bit deeper now as you bring your attention and awareness to the very top of the head. That next breath in is just going to bring your awareness to the very, very top, the crown of the head now. And you're going to notice that there is a dark space up there. And in this dark space is what we call the void. And the void is where everything is created. All of the desires, all of creation started in the void. Light was created in the void, in the darkness. So we use this substance, this first matter, to create a new perspective, a new way of dealing with the stresses of the day. And whatever that looks like for you, whether it's breathing deeply through a situation or a trying time, or if that is pressing the thumb and the middle finger together while taking in a deep breath, or whether it's just stopping for a minute and replacing that thought with a new thought, a new beneficial thought that I am safe, I am secure, I am supported. So whatever that looks like for you, go ahead and create it right now in the void. Whatever you create in the void has to manifest in the physical form, has to come to light. So go ahead and take this time now to just create that new behavior in the void. The breath, the distraction from the original thought, the creation of the new thought, the anchor that anchors you in peace, calm, vitality, wholeness, and relaxation and peace. Now let's just hold on to that creation and begin to pull it down through the head, down into the face and the neck, down into the shoulders, the arms, the chest, the back, the spine, the heart, into the belly, into the hips, down into the thighs, the knees, the legs, the ankles, and out of the feet, down into the planet, the earth beneath you. Now this creation is planted in the earth, and the earth is nurturing the creation. The earth is building it up, feeding it good, vibrant, nurturing soil, energy, water, everything that it needs, all of the elements that it needs to grow and prosper and bloom. And just like a blade of grass, you notice that the earth sends this creation, your creation, from the void all the way back up through the soil, and it pokes out just like a blade of grass. Your creation is growing. The new behavior has already taken root in the subconscious mind. And every single day it grows a little bit bigger and bigger. And pretty soon it's going to grow so big that it is your new way of dealing with life, as life will happen. But it is the response, your response, that matters, that determines how you feel about it, what you see. So just knowing that this new creation, this new way of dealing with life itself is already rooted in the subconscious. It is growing. And with repetition, whether you practice this visualization on your own or whether you decide to come back and watch this video, with that repetition, doing that exercise, exercising that muscle over and over and over again, pretty soon that blade of grass is going to grow and grow and grow strong. And it's going to multiply. And it's going to become greener, more abundant, more lush, more plush. And it's just going to cover your entire mind, the way in which you operate and do things. And you'll notice that things just seem to flow easier for you. You'll notice that things just roll off your back, and the things that used to strike a chord in you will no longer strike a chord in you. You'll just notice that you feel more relaxed, more at ease, more peaceful, more calm. So we're going to drop down a little bit deeper at 0. Drop down deeper into that subconscious mind. Here we're going to lock in all of the positives, all of the positive suggestions from this hypnotic journey, and all of the wonderful information that you learned in this video tonight. We're just going to lock it in, and we're going to shut the door to the subconscious mind, block out any and all obstacles and blocks. that no longer serve you and keep you from your greatest yet to be. Taking in a nice deep breath. Now we're going to come up at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Eyes are open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake. All right. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. If you want to contact me, you can always reach me on my website, www.opendoorhypnosis.com. You can also book sessions with me on the website. You just click the button that says make an appointment. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you can email me, Shara at opendoorhypnosis.com. And if you want to check out some of my other hypnotic journeys, you can go to my YouTube channel, Open Door Hypnosis TV, and check me out on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well, SharaProfit_CHT. So I thank you guys so much. Don't forget to sign up for my email list so that you can be eligible for the Turning Down the Dial on Anxiety hypnosis track. And also you get a free ebook called Can You Be Hypnotized? And you're going to learn how to do certain exercises to figure out how you, your friends, and your family, how hypnotizable you are. Because we're all hypnotizable. We can all be hypnotized, but certain people go in at different depths and levels. So it's a really interesting ebook for you to read and check out and just learn more about this modality so that you can use it for your own benefit, okay? If you have questions for me, like I said, email me. You can inbox me on Facebook. There's so many ways to contact me. Just go to my website. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me this evening. And I'll be back another time to do this. Not sure when. I'm not going to make any promises because I got a lot going on. But I will be back very soon. And I love you guys. And don't forget to like my Facebook page. Don't forget to join the Hypnosis is Key Facebook group. And enjoy the rest of your evening. And have a great holiday weekend. I know I will.